Take a deep breath, close your eyes, and let this story soothe you. The Generous Heart of Aquileia and Amaryllis. This story is about a girl named Aquileia and her tortoise friend Amaryllis, who bring joy to an elderly woman named Marigold through their acts of generosity, and realize that true happiness comes from the small, heartfelt actions that touch others' lives wide. In a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and fragrant meadows lived a young girl named Aquileia. She was known far and wide for her kindness and generosity. Her best friend was an old tortoise named Amaryllis, who had a shell that sparkled like the morning dew. One day, as they wandered through the village, Aquileia noticed an elderly woman struggling to carry a heavy basket of fruits. Without a moment's hesitation, she hurried over to help, and Amaryllis slowly followed. The woman's face lit up with gratitude as Aquileia and Amaryllis relieved her of the heavy load. With a warm smile, the woman guided them to her humble home for tea. Inside the cozy cottage, the woman shared stories of her younger days, while they sipped on herbal tea and nibbled on freshly baked bread. Aquileia learned that the woman's name was Marigold, and she had lived in the village for many years. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Marigold revealed that she had no family left, and felt lonely at times. Touched by her words, Aquileia promised to visit her regularly, bringing her joy and companionship. Over the following weeks, Aquileia and a relative made Marigold's little cottage their second home. They brought her flowers from the meadows, painted pictures together, and even taught her how to play the flute. The village soon noticed the changes in Marigold, who now wore a constant smile and seemed livelier than ever. One chilly autumn evening, Aquileia found Amaryllis moving unusually slow and appearing weak. She realized that her dear friend was getting old and tired. Wanting to make his days comfortable, Aquileia climbed up to the cozy little shelter with soft hay and warm blankets under the largest oak tree in their garden. Amaryllis looked up at her with gratitude, his old eyes twinkling like stars. Winter came, and the village was blanketed in sparkling snow. Despite the cold, Aquileia continued to visit Marigold with Amaryllis at her side. They shared stories by the fire, knitted scarves, and sang songs of warmer days. Amaryllis, though slower, always had a serene presence that warmed their hearts. As spring arrived, flowers bloomed, and the village was once again alive with color. On a sunny afternoon, Aquileia and Marigold decided to organize a village fair to celebrate the new season and bring everyone together. Villagers contributed by bringing homemade treats, crafts, and games. Amaryllis, despite his age, was given a special role as the guest of honor. At the fair, Aquileia noticed a young boy standing alone, looking timid and lost. Remembering her own loneliness, she walked over to him and offered him a piece of apple pie. The boy's eyes lit up and he shyly thanked her, finally joining the festivities with newfound confidence. The village fair was a resounding success, bringing smiles to everyone's faces and filling hearts with joy. As the day drew to a close, Aquileia reflected on the journey of friendship and generosity she had embarked on with Amaryllis. She realized that true happiness comes not from grand gestures but from the small, heartfelt acts of generosity that touch others' lives profoundly. That night, under a blanket of stars, Aquileia and Amaryllis rested with contentment, knowing they had made the world a little brighter with their kind hearts. Let's drift further into the night with our next tale. Lotus and Euphorbia, the Gift of Blessings. This story is about a girl named Lotus and a friendly ghost called Euphorbia, who reveals to Lotus the blessings she possesses and gifts her a pendant symbolizing her inner strength. In a quaint village bordered by lush forests and vibrant fields, lived a young girl named Lotus. She was known for her kindness and her radiant smile, which could brighten even the gloomiest of days. One night, as the moonlight bathed her room in a gentle glow, Lotus heard a soft whisper calling her name. She sat up in bed and saw a ghostly figure gently floating near her window. Despite being slightly startled, she felt an inexplicable warmth and peace emanating from the spirit. "Hello, Lotus," said the apparition in a soothing voice. "I am Euphorbia, a friendly ghost who has watched over this village for centuries." Lotus felt a sense of calm wash over her. "Why are you here?" she asked. "I've come to share a story and a gift with you," Euphorbia replied. Intrigued, Lotus nodded, and Euphorbia began to weave a tale of blessings and courage. Euphorbia spoke of a time when the village was plagued by drought and despair. The young farmer had discovered a spring, and with the help of his friends and family, they had brought water and prosperity back to the land. None of them had a gift that they used to bless the village, Euphorbia explained. Lotus listened intently, her heart swelling with pride for her ancestors. What does this have to do with me?" she asked. Euphorbia's ethereal form glimmered in the moonlight. "Dear Lotus, have inherited their gifts. Your kindness, your smile, and your fruit are blessings that you give to everyone around you." Lotus felt a lump in her throat. She had never thought of her actions in such a profound way. "And now," Euphorbia continued, "I have a special blessing for you, so-called pendant, that will remind you of your inner strength and the power of blessings." With the wave of her hand, Euphorbia conjured a delicate pendant, sparkling with an otherworldly light. Lotus reached out to touch it, feeling its warmth. "Thank you, Euphorbia," she whispered. As the first light of dawn began to creep into her room, Euphorbia's form began to fade. "Remember, Lotus," the ghost said, her voice now just a faint echo. "Blessings come in many forms, and yours have the power to change the world." Lotus clutched the pendant to her chest, a renewed sense of purpose flooding her heart. She knew that with her blessings, she could bring light to even the darkest corners of the world. Here holds a new tale to carry you further into peace. Rose and the Kindred Nymph, a tale of heritage. This story is about Rose, a young girl, and Bluebell, a kind-hearted nymph, who discover their shared heritage of kindness and protection, ultimately saving their village from a severe drought with their combined magic. Once upon a time, in a quaint village at the edge of an ancient forest, lived a young girl named Rose. Rose had hair the color of autumn leaves, and eyes as blue as the summer sky. She lived with her grandmother in a charming cottage adorned with flowering vines and surrounded by a lush garden. Every evening, Rose's grandmother would tell her stories of the magical creatures that lived in the forest, particularly about the kindred and Bluebell. Bluebell was known to protect the village and its people through her gentle magic, which was passed down for generations. One day, while picking flowers near the edge of the forest, Rose encountered Bluebell. The nymph emerged from the woods, her appearance as ethereal as the moonlight. She had shimmering wings and a gown made of the finest petals and leaves. Rose gasped in awe. Bluebell smiled warmly and introduced herself. In the tender exchange, they discovered that they had a shared legacy of kindness and protection. Bluebell spoke of her ancestors, who had once lived among humans, sharing their wisdom and healing powers. Rose learned that her own family descended from these ancient guardians and that she too had inherited special gifts. As the days passed, Rose and Bluebell grew closer, their bond strengthening with each shared secret and lesson. Bluebell taught Rose about the healing herbs in the forest, and how to commune with nature. In return, Rose shared stories of the village and its need for protectors. One day, the village faced a severe drought. The streams dried up, and the crops withered. Despair loomed over the villagers. Sensing their distress, Bluebell and Rose joined forces to find a solution. Together, they called upon the old magic. Bluebell used her wings to summon the clouds, while Rose sang a melody she had learned from her grandmother. The sky darkened, and soon a gentle rain began to fall. The villagers rejoiced, their hearts filled with gratitude. A bond between Rose and Bluebell became a cherished legend. They continued to work together, infusing the village with their love and protection. Rose grew up to become a wise and beloved guardian of her people, her heritage forever intertwined with the magic of the forest. And every evening, she would tell her own children the stories of the kind-hearted nymph, ensuring that the legacy of Bluebell lived on. Thus, the village thrived, abundantly blessed by the union of human kindness and mystical wisdom, thriving in harmony with the enchanted forest surrounding them. Here, another story to bring you calm. Heather and Frisia's wholesome adventure. This story is about Heather and Frisia, who form a deep bond for their shared love of nature, spreading kindness and joy while living in harmony with the forest. Once upon a time, there was a kind-hearted woman named Heather who lived in a cozy cottage on the edge of the Whispering Woods. Every morning, she would wander into the forest to gather fresh herbs and berries for her delicious recipes. One sunny morning, Heather stumbled upon a small, jolly gnome named Frisia, who was humming happily while tending to his vibrant mushroom garden. Frisia wore a bright red hat and had a twinkle in his eye that mirrored the joy in his heart. Heather and Frisia quickly became friends, bonding over their shared love of nature and wholesome living. Frisia invited Heather to his hidden glen, a magical place blooming with flowers of every color and streams that sang sweet melodies as they flowed. Heather was enchanted by the beauty of the glen and Frisia's cheerful demeanor. They spent countless hours laughing, sharing stories and exchanging recipes. In Frisia's glen, Heather learned the secrets of the woodland creatures and how to talk to the trees. She discovered that nature had a language all its own, one that spoke of peace, harmony, and love. Frisia taught Heather how to make remedies from the plants and how to find joy in the simple things. One day, a fierce storm rolled in, shaking the trees with its powerful winds and drenching the forest in a torrential downpour. Heather and Frisia sought shelter in a cozy hollow tree. As the storm raged outside, Frisia shared a story about the origins of the Whispering Woods. He spoke of ancient times when the forest was protected by enchanted beings who brought balance and peace. Heather listened intently, feeling a deep connection to the land and its history. When the storm finally passed, Heather and Frisia emerged from their shelter to find the forest sparkling with fresh rain, the air filled with the scent of earth and new beginnings. They decided to use the uprooted trees and debris to build a little bridge across the stream, making it easier for animals to cross. As they worked side by side, their friendship grew stronger, and their hearts filled with a sense of accomplishment and purpose. From that day on, Heather and Frisia continued to explore the Whispering Woods together, spreading kindness and joy wherever they went. They made it their mission to help those in need, whether it was a fallen bird, a wilting flower, or a weary traveler. Their bond remained unbreakable, a testament to the power of friendship and the beauty of living in harmony with nature. And so Heather and Frisia lived happily ever after, their lives intertwined like the vines of the forest, forever nurtured by the love and warmth they shared. Thank you for listening. Rest peacefully.